Margaret Hamilton, an actress whose name might not be instantly recognizable to everyone, left an unforgettable impact on cinema, especially through one of the most iconic villains of all time. Born on December 9, 1902, in Cleveland, Ohio, Hamilton's life story is one of commitment to her craft and resilience, despite the challenges that came with a role that would forever change her career and her life. Hamilton grew up in a supportive family that valued education, but her love for acting started at a young age. However, she didn't go directly into acting. Instead, she studied at Wheelock College in Boston and trained to be a kindergarten teacher. Margaret adored children, and even as her career took her far from that world, she remained committed to their welfare throughout her life. Her background as a teacher would serve her well, as her career eventually involved working with children in a rather unexpected way. Her entry into acting came in the 1920s when she joined a local theater group. Her stage presence was undeniable, and over time, she moved from the Cleveland stage to New York. Although her looks were considered unconventional for Hollywood at the time, Hamilton wasn't deterred. She had a distinctive character face, one that didn't conform to the typical leading lady roles of that era, but she took on this challenge with grace. Instead of feeling hindered, she embraced it, leading her to develop an incredible niche as a character actress. It was her turn in the 1939 classic The Wizard of Oz that transformed her into a household name, though perhaps not in the way she might have imagined. Cast as the Wicked Witch of the West, Hamilton was tasked with playing one of the most fearsome villains in film history. The role required extensive makeup, prosthetics, and hours in the makeup chair each day. Her performance became legendary, with her menacing cackle, her pointed green face, and her iconic lines. The film is filled with unforgettable moments, but the Wicked Witch, with her commanding presence and sinister charm, quickly became the character that left a lasting impression. Yet, the role that made her famous also brought with it significant challenges. During the filming of The Wizard of Oz, Hamilton suffered a serious accident. In a scene where the witch disappears in a puff of smoke, a trap door malfunctioned, and Hamilton suffered second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hands. This experience was traumatizing, but her resilience was incredible. Hamilton returned to the set just weeks later, determined to complete the project. Her commitment to her work, even after such a horrifying accident, is a testament to her dedication to her craft. Despite her best efforts, the character of the Wicked Witch would end up casting a long shadow over her career. Although her portrayal of the witch was an incredible feat of acting, Hamilton found herself typecast. She was offered role after role of witchy characters, typecasting that limited the types of opportunities she received. In interviews, Hamilton would later reflect on her frustration with being pigeonholed, as her range as an actress went far beyond that single role. But in the spirit of resilience, she embraced her legacy, choosing to own the role rather than let it define her. One of the most remarkable aspects of Margaret Hamilton's story was her own good humor about the witch. Despite the character's terrifying reputation, Hamilton herself was warm, generous, and absolutely beloved by those who knew her. She found it particularly important to show children that she wasn't truly evil, understanding that her Wicked Witch had frightened generations of young viewers. In fact, she spent time visiting children's hospitals and often removed her makeup to demonstrate that it was all just an act. Hamilton's deep love for children shone through as she dedicated herself to making sure young fans knew the difference between fantasy and reality. Outside of her acting career, Hamilton was a passionate advocate for causes she believed in. She was deeply involved in social work, especially in causes related to children's education and welfare. Her background as a kindergarten teacher remained close to her heart, and she never lost her love for early childhood education. In addition, Hamilton served on the Beverly Hills Board of Education, where she worked tirelessly to improve the quality of education in California. Hamilton's later career included roles in television and commercials. She even made several memorable appearances on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where she reprised her role as the witch in a gentle, humorous way to help teach children that there was nothing to fear. Hamilton was grateful for the opportunity to show a different side of her famous character and ease the fears of young viewers. Even as she grew older, Hamilton continued to work and entertain audiences with her unique brand of charm. Her role in the Addams Family television series, where she played Granny Hester Frump, brought her back into the public eye, adding another memorable character to her career. She remained active in Hollywood well into her 70s, never losing her passion for acting. Despite her best efforts, the character of the Wicked Witch would end up casting a long shadow over her career. Although her portrayal of the witch was an incredible feat of acting, Hamilton found herself typecast. She was offered role after role of witchy characters, typecasting that limited the types of opportunities she received. In interviews, Hamilton would later reflect on her frustration with being pigeonholed, as her range as an actress went far beyond that single role. But in the spirit of while she sometimes wished she had been offered more varied roles, she eventually came to embrace the impact that the Wicked Witch had on audiences worldwide. She passed away in 1985, leaving behind a career that showcased her dedication, resilience, and undeniable talent. Margaret Hamilton's story did not end with her passing. In fact, her legacy continued to influence generations of actors, filmmakers, and fans. Even today, she's remembered for the unique mark she left on Hollywood and for inspiring the way characters, especially villains, are portrayed in cinema. Her portrayal of the Wicked Witch set a standard for how depth and dimension could bring a villain to life. She wasn't just scary, she was clever, calculating, and unforgettable. She gave audiences someone they loved to fear, adding richness to what could have been a one-note role. Over the years, Hollywood has paid tribute to Hamilton's contributions. Directors and actors alike have cited her performance as one of the greatest villains ever, including her alongside iconic antagonists in cinema history. Beyond her Hollywood influence, her Wicked Witch has inspired portrayals in stage, television, and adaptations that continue to make her a cultural touchstone. For instance, the hit Broadway musical Wicked, based on Gregory Maguire's novel, reimagines the backstory of her character, bringing a new understanding to the witch's complexity. Though Hamilton wasn't involved, the production undoubtedly drew on the character depth she established in The Wizard of Oz. Hamilton's role has also evolved as a reference in pop culture. Her image, voice, and famous lines have been parodied, recreated, and celebrated in shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, and in countless Halloween costumes and theme park experiences. But for all the parodies and the fun, her character remains timeless, a beloved and sometimes frightening presence that has left an indelible mark on audiences. Beyond her work as the Wicked Witch, Margaret Hamilton was someone who transcended her on-screen persona. Her devotion to social work and education left a quieter but lasting legacy. In her personal life, she was known for her kindness, intellect, and fierce support for causes she believed in. When people think of Hamilton today, they remember a woman who refused to be limited by Hollywood's narrow casting, and who instead used her voice and her platform for good. Ultimately, Margaret Hamilton's story is one of resilience, humor, and an enduring legacy that goes beyond a single role. The Wicked Witch may have cast a long shadow, but Hamilton's warmth, advocacy, and charm shine brightly through it. Her life reminds us that, while one iconic role might define a career, the person behind that role often carries so much more. And for Margaret Hamilton, that more was a blend of compassion, courage, and a love for her craft that made her one of Hollywood's most remarkable, albeit unconventional, stars.